Yo, what's going on? This is Bboy Little Cesar from the Air Force Crew and Radiotron, straight from LA. We're here sitting down with the local astronauts. Wow, the hardest part about making dance as a career, I think the challenge is really first and foremost, you gotta be dope. You need X amount of years to master the whole concept of a b-boy. So it's not just like learning the technique or learning a head spin but learning the entire understanding of what a b-boy is. I think once you have that, you gotta learn the business. You must learn the business. If you do not learn the business, you're not gonna eat. Basically, you're not gonna eat. So for me, what I had to do really take classes, business classes, empower yourself. How does the industry work? So when you go out there, you don't get jacked. You know what I mean? You basically know where you're standing and know how much value you really are when you actually are taking on a job or someone's offering a job, and how to conduct yourself to actually get the amount of money that you deserve. I think for me, that's been I think a challenge, because I just didn't learn the concept of as a dancer, but in overall, you know what I mean? Like learning how to make a t-shirt and learning how to make money on product, going abroad, traveling, promoting yourself and getting your name out there and the product out there, and really just in the film industry as well, like getting the headshots, getting your resume, getting an agent, you know what I mean? And really learning how to really sell yourself, such therefore you can generate a pretty much a decent living, man. Yeah, basically at the very beginning, I have to go back in 1982, 83. I had my man Ozrock. Ozrock was a b-boy from New York, from Rhode Island, came out here, and he was very inspiring to me because he was the cat that was going to auditions. He took me to my first audition. So at the very, very beginning, it was a huge challenge for me because, I'm originally from El Salvador, right? And I came here in 1981 and I didn't understand the lingo, man. I didn't understand the language. So going to an audition, I'm like, Oscar, come on. You're going to you want me to go to the audition? He's like, what do I say? He's like, just go and be yourself, and just repeat whatever's in that paper. Just go ahead and do it. So that's what I did, and then looking at his steps, like going to auditions, being in films, learning the craft. He was showing me the steps. So at the very beginning, it was a huge challenge because of the language. Once I passed that, I started learning little by little, and next thing you know, you just start to embrace and how everything works. And once you have the concept of how that works, it pretty much you start getting used to it, and you start embracing, and basically you start doing the things that you're passionate and what you love. You're talking about how do you become a master b-boy. I think a b-boy, it goes as you go. You start discovering basically just everything about the culture. So it's actually something that you're going through the process, and at some point it's gonna hit when you start learning about what hip hop is and what hip hop is not. You start learning the music and the musicality when you dance. You start actually mastering and training each move, because each move could take 5 years or even 10 years, depending on how much training you put into it. So I think once you start mastering each move and you start combining it, and the way that you also dress, and also the way that you speak, because in hip hop we have the street language, right? We have the whole lingo about hip hop, but there's really learning the culture, learning how to behave yourself in a cipher when you're gonna go out there and battle somebody. So it's not something that you get right away. It's something that takes actual time to become a master. And it's not just the technique, momentum, and timing. It's not just that, but also you gotta mentally be prepared. And what do I mean by that? Well, if I go into a battle feeling scared, fear is gonna show up, right? So at some point, you're gonna keep it or you're gonna snap out of it when you're battling. Or if you're coming being confident, you're gonna be confident throughout the whole battle. So basically, in a mind, you have to be also in a mind frame. How to actually conduct yourself as a b-boy in a battle. It's not just the technique, but overall as the whole picture. And once you have, everything in place, I believe, time, it's tough because we're always learning. Hip hop is always reinventing itself. Every 10 years, there's a new generation. You keep learning new things. So it's something that you don't really stop learning, but as a master, once you, I think, grasp the whole concept of it, an understanding of it, and then you can also even teach it and break it down in such A through Z, it gives you the ability for you to say, you know what, I am a master. I've been doing it for 36 years, or I've been doing it for 15, 20 years, and I'm still learning because, as a b-boy, I've been doing it for almost, 36 years in the game, man. And I'm still learning. I mean, you see these new cats, like these new b-boys, like B-Boy Pocket. I see them, it's like, oh my God, like, wow. You can just see the new generation, and it inspires me. But yes, you got to continue learning. I always love learning new things, even as a old school b-boys. Like they say, I'm still like, I can do some new stuff even to this day, 2017, So like I said, just learning the whole concept and understanding the music, the culture, the gear, the way you're practicing and training, and the way you're conducting yourself in a cipher when you're battling and having fun. Because at the end of the day, man, this is just a game. We're having fun, and that's one of the things what hip hop is, having fun, right? Besides, peace, love, unity, and having fun, and all the elements in the culture. So the style that I prefer is actually the West Coast styles, and the reason is because I love the way when you're flying in the air, the centrifugal force when you pull in your legs and your arms, and you're out there flying, and it just becomes very dynamic. It's like breaking through grounds, and the feeling. It's like I said, it's like flying in the air, man, with such control, where your legs are not never touching the ground, and you're just out there doing crazy combinations that just is not normal to the eye. When you see someone doing head spins and like going, I don't know, man, it's just going so fast, because the centrifugal force pulls you, and understanding the control. And when you do that, man, it's an amazing feeling with all the power moves and the air moves. Air Force crew, we're known because we contribute a lot to the element of b-boying, with actually flying in the air, all the power moves and the air moves. That's what we used to call it back in the days, air moves, and now transition to power moves. And I tell you, man, it's just the most amazing feeling. It's a different feeling than being in the ground, which is dope because I love being in the ground as well. But when you're flying, it's just something about it that the mind, the body, it's like being on the ride, you're flying, but it's like you're being free, man. It's like being free with all the control in the world.
Nice.
What do I think about the new rap today? Can I dance to it? Of course, you put any beat, you can dance to it. Do I prefer it? No, because the rap today is very, very different than when we grew up in the 80s, even the 90s. All the Freestyle Fellowship, Jurassic 5, the Medusas. I mean, it's very, very, very different. It's underground versus being more commercial. I think it's a whole different vibe. I personally don't like to make it wrong, just because I understand that every 10 years hip hop shifts, and when music shifts, the dance shift. So music dictates where the dance is gonna go. So the dance of today, unfortunately, us b-boys, we cannot dance because the pace of the music is very, very slow. Us b-boys, we're very aggressive and real fast on the real up-tempo beat. So we cannot dance to it, but we can pop, depending on the beat. So I understand the different music of today, how it was, 30 years ago, very, very, very different. But you know what? It's music, and it makes you do certain thing. So I don't really like to diss it, but I understand it. and I just don't prefer it because of the type of style that I that as b-boys love to dance. It's b-boying, so we break beats. It's very, very different, man. It's very, very different.